Good morning, day 64, cooking down the freezer. All right, another day of cooking and purging and cleaning up. So I never would have thought this would have all taken so long, especially cooking down one freezer. It's taking forever. So even though I'm a big fan of stocking up on food, maybe keeping it reasonable with the frozen food is a good idea, because I, as a single person, don't eat that much. Now, if you have a family, it's a different story. Families go through a lot of food. I had a family, well, I still do, but when my kids were home, I had 2 boys and a girl, and the boys ate a lot of food. But as a single person, especially being a woman, I can't eat that much. So, but I'm plugging my way through, and we'll see how long this can go. I'm going to keep going until I get to the point where my freezer is not as packed as it is. It's not as bad as it used to be. And in a little while, I'll show you some of the things that are left in. Breakfast, day 64. Okay, I still have these rolls. I'm going to have one of those. I had a little tiny piece of my homemade bread left, but it was getting moldy. So out to the composter that will go. I want an egg. Hopefully I can, oh, I got to get that out later. I think I want an egg and cheese sandwich. So I'm going to have some of this cheese. And I'll come back for the egg. And then I think I still have a potato patty in my freezer. So that's it for the potato patties. But up here I still have some potato rounds, so I can eat those too. So that's breakfast this morning. I'll meet you at the stove. I have my potato here. I cooked that in the air fryer. I'm just warming up the bottom half of this bun. The other half is in the toaster oven with the cheese. And I want to break this yolk because it's going to be a sandwich. So I've got a little sriracha salt here. This is not very sriracha-y, but I want to use it up. A little pepper. And I'm just going to fry this egg and put my sandwich together. I'm going to soak up all that butter on the bread. I don't really want it toasted, I just want it hot. Perfect. And the cheese is perfect. I really, really like this air fryer. I don't think I'd like one of those drawer ones as much, but I don't know. You guys have one of those that have the drawer? What do you think of it? Do you like it? I really like this one. So that's it. Not much going on. You know, I found this pan in my stash, and I've had it for years, never used it because I forgot about it. And this is my new favorite pan. I really like using this pan. It really doesn't stick. So next time I get another frying pan, I think I'll get another copper one. Do you guys have the copper ones, or just the regular coated, or stainless steel? Gosh, there's so many. There's cast iron, all kinds. So anyway, this is good. I'm going to just put this on my sandwich. And Panera makes a really good egg and cheese sandwich on their baguette. And this is something similar. I think they put bacon on theirs, but I don't, of course, have it with bacon. But anyway, there's breakfast. Day 64. Egg and cheese sandwich. And hash browns. Well, here are my new chairs, and I'm doing like a green and burnt orange thing. So this is the day bed that I have in my living room, and I want to redo these cushions because they don't really go with anything. So I got some pillow covers from Amazon, and this is what it looks like before, and I still have a plethora of furniture in my living room until my couch goes next week. So I'm really looking forward to getting that out. But in the meantime, the puppies are still enjoying it. So I just want to document some of the changes that I'm making to my living room. I'm trying to do this on the cheap as much as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and recover these pillows, and I'll show you what it looks like after. Well, this isn't quite working for me. This green didn't look good with this. And the cushions that I ordered back there are too white, and they need to be more an ecru color. I like these, and this blanket goes pretty well with that, but I got to do something with this. I tried looking in my closets and all over the place and haven't found anything that I like, but this doesn't work with this too well. So anyway, but I want to incorporate some of the colors of the chair. That's why I want the orange and the green over here. But it needs a little tweaking. So I may just have to buy something that goes with it. But anyway, that's that. So I'm going to play with it a little more and see what else I can come up with. Dinner, day 64. Okay. Getting lots of empty space here. That's good. All right, I have to eat this chicken seitan. So I'm going to have that. Very simple dinner today, nothing fancy. Let's see what I have for veggies in the freezer. Okay, I can have cauliflower or broccoli. I'm going to have broccoli. If I can get it out. Broccoli, and I'm going to have a baked potato, and I'm going to have it with my homemade ranch dressing. I want to get that used up. So that's pretty much it for dinner tonight. I'll meet you at the stove. All right, here is dinner, day 64, very simple. I heated up my seitan, cut it up in some gravy with broccoli and butter, baked potato and butter, and I'm going to put my ranch dressing on that. And this is the gravy cubes that I used. I only used half of a one, so it makes about 1/4 of a cup. So that is my very simple dinner. Nothing fancy. And I used broccoli from the freezer, and the seitan was from the freezer originally. And the baked potato is from my produce haul. So there it is, dinner day 64. Well, dinner was good. It was very simple, and I think I'm going to try something a little bit different, because I've been making a lot of recipes like soups and casseroles and stews and those sorts of things. But I'm going to not do that for a while, and I'm going to stick to things that are more basic and easier to cook for one. And like if you're a meat eater and you have a pork chop, so you could make a pork chop, a baked potato, and a salad or a single serving of vegetables. So I have, I think I'm pretty well finished cooking up my vegan meats that I made. I only ate half that piece of seitan because it's very filling. So tomorrow I can eat it again, and that'll be it on my homemade seitan. But I have a lot of other prepared vegan foods that I need to eat down. So I think I'm going to give it that approach for a while until I make more room in my freezer, because once I get enough room in this freezer, I'm going to start shopping in the freezer that's at my mother's house. But that's in the future. Not quite ready for that yet. So I'm having my cold tea that I didn't drink yesterday, and if I make hot tea and I don't drink it, because usually I have a warm cup of tea in the afternoon, but sometimes I don't drink it. So then I'll just put it in the refrigerator and drink it as iced tea out of my Tostitos glass. It's just what was handy, but it's tasty. So that was my drink with dinner, and it literally took me less than 10 minutes to make my dinner this evening, because the seitan was already cooked, but it needed to be cut up and warmed up, and the instant gravy, it's good. I would buy it again. They have a brown gravy and a mushroom gravy that are vegan, and I just happen to have half a cube left. I used it in my stew. I think I used the other half. So, but it is a little on the salty side. So I think when that's gone, I'm going to try and make more of my homemade gravy. And I like salt. So if I say it's a little on the salty side, it's salty even for me. But so anyway, I baked my potato just in the microwave. That took 5 minutes. I cooked my broccoli in the microwave. That took 3 minutes. And then to heat up my seitan, that took only a couple minutes. So that was a very quick dinner, and it was good, really good and filling, and sort of like a traditional dinner. So if you have leftover roast beef or pork or whatever, think about freezing it in serving sizes for your family, whether that's 1 or 2, or if you have, several children. Try freezing those things in serving sizes so you don't have to thaw a huge big thing and then you have to eat it for a week. So before I go today, I wanted to talk a little bit. I've been looking through my papers and magazines, and I came across an article about purging. And one of the things had 7 reasons why people don't purge. Now, the first reason it says is guilt. Now, I get that. Not so much guilt because somebody gave it to you, but unless it's one of my kids. I have a hard time getting rid of anything that my kids have given me because they usually put a lot of thought into it, and I can't remember any time where I didn't like what they got me. So those things I keep. But then there's the guilt. Now this I have too. There's the guilt about I spent good money on that. And so the money is gone. It's not going to come back. I mean, unless you sell something, which I don't have any inclination to do. One subscriber said, just have a garage sale and get it over with. But first of all, I don't want to do that because you don't make enough money, for me, my opinion, having a garage sale. I've had garage sales in the past, and it really was not worth the effort. Cleaning up the stuff, labeling it all, putting it in the garage, waiting for people to show up, people trying to, offer you less than what you want for the item. You get literally pennies on the dollar. If you have something for $1, they want it for 50 cents. So for me, a garage sale isn't worth it. I know some people have success with a garage sale, but I'm not one of them. Another reason is here in my association, parking on the street is very limited, and we're not really supposed to have garage sales for that reason. They don't want all this foreign traffic coming through our neighborhood, and I don't want that either. So no garage sales for me. And like I said before, a lot of people are really good at selling their stuff. I'm not one of those people either, because I want it out. Once I decide I want to get rid of something, I want it out the door. I don't want it hanging around until somebody buys it, or I change my mind and say, oh, this is useful, maybe I'll keep it. For me, it's out of sight, out of mind, and I'm very happy once it's gone. So another reason, another excuse why people don't want to purge or organize things is, she says it's the Pinterest effect. Now, I can sort of relate to that because you look online or in a magazine and everything is just perfect, but you have to realize that these are stagers that put this article together. They have just the right amount of articles to put on the shelf. Everything matches. The baskets fit just right on the shelf, and everything's just beautiful. It's a work of art. But if you want to get real about it, most of us don't have those kinds of things that look perfect together. I know I don't. So that's another reason why people procrastinate, because if it's not perfect, they have a hard time even getting started. The way I kind of get past that is I just tell myself I'm going to purge a little something every day. I'll look through something every day. Sometimes it's just organizing those things, and I don't get rid of anything. And other times I get rid of a lot of things and organize. So it all depends on what I'm looking through and what my goal is. Okay, another reason why people procrastinate is the wishful thinking. The perfect you. The perfect you will have beautiful scrapbooks all on a shelf with every single photograph and of your grandchildren, and each grandchild will have their own scrapbook, and every vacation will have its own scrapbook, and they'll just be beautiful. But there's your photographs and there's your scrapbooks, and never the two shall meet. So your perfect self, we all have an idea of our perfect self in our heads. If we were perfect, we would do this. If we were perfect, we would have that. But in reality, it just stresses you out. Every time you look at those scrapbooks and those photos, it adds stress to your life because you're not doing anything with it. So unless you're absolutely sure that that's what you're going to do and not just wish that you were going to do, then it probably would be a good idea to let it go, unless it's something that you really, really love. And then maybe just downsizing it would enable you to actually do something with it and not be so overwhelmed by all the ideas and scrap. And I'm guilty of this myself. I do that too. You know, I have a perfect me, and but you know what? You're perfect just the way you are. You don't have to be any more perfect than what you already are. A lot of us get emotionally attached to articles, whether it's your children's toys or a dress that you used to look great in and it's in your closet, and you just think, maybe I'll be able to fit in that again and I'll look like I looked before. So you're emotionally attached to that thing. And there's nothing wrong with keeping some of that. You know, if you really love something that, let's say, your child made you, put it in a treasured box, you know, but get yourself a box that's a reasonable size and keep only those things that you're emotionally attached, your favorite things, and that will fit in that box. And the rest, you know, just because little Jimmy made you a picture and it was a mediocre picture, but just because little Jimmy made it, you're going to keep it. So we have to set limits in as far as the space. Well, really? In as far as the space we have available. Can you hear him snorting? I don't know if it's coming across, but yes, he's a character. No, that's not for you. I still have my dinner plate here, and he thinks he needs some. So I know emotional attachment to things is a difficult one to get over. Some people will take pictures of their children's artwork, or, you know, you could take pictures and then make a collage of it, or, you know, anything like that where you still have the memory and you're not disrespecting the person by getting rid of some of this stuff, and, you know, the memory's still there. And if you need a reminder, just taking some pictures or maybe putting them on one of those the digital frames that go, you know, to show the different pictures. You could try that, and that way you'll still be reminded of what it was that your child gave you. Here's one that I'm really guilty of, but I might need it someday. And we think, oh, I'll use this, you know, next year when I make myself a shelving unit, or, you know, I'll use this when this and this happens. And in reality, probably if you haven't used it in a year or two, or 15 or 20, now you know that I dig things like that out all the time. But chances are you probably aren't going to miss it and you're not going to need it. So those are things you might want to think of letting go, or put those items in a place where you will see it and you actually will use it. If it was shoved in the back of a cupboard somewhere, like when I did my candle closet, or when I did my cupboard by the stove. You know, there were things just shoved in there that I forgot I had because they were shoved in there. So I gave them a place where they're going to live, where they're easy to get to, and I will actually use it. But that's a difficult one, and it's a difficult one for me. It's one that I struggle with for sure. Another thing is I'm just waiting until. Okay, now a lot of us do this, you know, you put on 10, 15 pounds and you've had these 10, 15 pounds on you for 10 years and you still have a pair of jeans from when you were a hippie and they're still in your closet, and you tell yourself, yep, I'm just waiting until I lose those 10 or 15 pounds and then I'm going to wear these jeans again. Which sounds really great, but in 10 or 15 years, your body usually changes, even if you lose the weight. So you may not be able to fit in those jeans anyway. You know, your butt may stay bigger than it was when you first had those jeans. So clothes that don't fit, if they're uncomfortable, if you have to put on a pair of pants and you're sitting there at dinner when you go out and you're just miserable, give those clothes away. Just get rid of them. And if you do lose the 10 or 15 pounds, I'm not saying that you can't do that because it happens all the time. But then go buy yourself a pair of new jeans. I think you deserve it. You know, it's a celebration. You lost 10 or 15 pounds, so you deserve new jeans. So clothes like that, or, you know, anything that makes you feel bad about yourself because you can't do whatever it is you want to do, whether it's lose weight or renovate the kitchen, a DIY project, and you just don't have the stamina or the strength anymore. Those sorts of things, it's probably not going to happen. I'm not being a naysayer here, but if it does happen, great. Go buy a new thing, but don't go crazy. Don't, you know, reestablish everything that you got rid of. Just get the thing that you need. Okay, and the last thing is a lack of time and energy. And this, I sort of fit into this category. It's not that I don't have the time. I'm retired. I don't have the energy and I don't have the stamina anymore to go around my house and declutter the whole thing. You know, somebody will say, oh, just get rid of everything. Well, that's kind of ridiculous, in my opinion, because there are things that are worth something to you that you can use, and just willy-nilly going around and throwing everything out is not being productive, and it's not being smart. It's just, I know people that have gotten a dumpster and just everything went in the dumpster. I mean, really nice things, really good things, and then they had to go out and buy everything new. I can't do that, and the reason I can't do that is because I don't mind donating things. I love to give things away, especially things, you know, if I don't use it anymore. And really everything I have is in really good condition. Now I know everybody thinks, oh, you know, even people that have a hoarded house thinks that, you know, everything they have is in wonderful shape. But, you know, those jeans, again, the jeans that you've worn and washed, you know, 30, 40 times probably are not in that great a shape. You know, those you can get rid of. But if you have a lot of clothes, then chances are those clothes haven't been washed that often, and they really are in pristine condition. And why would you throw things in the dumpster that are still good when somebody else might get some pleasure out of them? So, but that's my opinion. So, and I think as you declutter, you have to kind of declutter your thinking, and you have to declutter your mindset. So whatever process works for you, like I said I'm pretending I'm going to move, and do I want to take that with me or not? You know, do I want to dust this thing? Is it worth me keeping if I have to dust this thing? So just playing mind games with yourself helps a lot too. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself, be good to others, and be kind to each other. You know, if somebody is going through a declutter process, don't go in there and say, oh my God, why did you do this? Or what were you thinking? Or, you know, anything like that. It's not helpful. You're not helpful to that person. Roll up your sleeves if you want and help the person do the process, but don't go in there with your opinions and, you know, your negativity. That does not help anybody. All right, my friends, I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.